Today's topic is dedicated to all things related to establishing and keeping a routine. Whether you're in the thick of one or hoping to get in one soon, there are important things to consider and be mindful of, which is what I'll be sharing in today's wellness webinar. I find that for me, the holidays is a time when routine can get lost or pushed back on my list of priorities. Things like holiday get-togethers, traveling, shopping, mailing cards, eating sugar cookies, the list goes on, can really get in the way of what I normally do to keep my stress levels down. And for me, the hardest part is getting back into my typical routine once the holidays pass. I encourage you to take notes on this topic, especially since it's the beginning of a very busy and sometimes stressful time of year. If you don't take notes, there will be a recorded version available on EFR's website later this week. Let's go ahead and get started. First things first, let's discuss the why behind getting into a routine. Why is such an important question to answer when it comes to anything related to a lifestyle change or practice. So I encourage you to really think through the whys in your life before making any big changes, and especially a change when it comes to a routine. A routine is essentially a habit or a series of habits that you engage with on a regular basis. A lot of people associate the term habit with nuns. Never mind, that was just my attempt at humor for the morning. It's more likely you associate the term habit with things that are quote unquote bad or not good for you. Biting your nails, smoking, driving too fast, oversleeping, all of those things your mom was on your case about. But habits can be good things and things that really enhance your life too. Essentially, habits, good or bad, are part of your routine, and oftentimes regardless of your intentions. They're things you don't even think about. Routines are important because they determine what your day will look like. And you know what they say about how your days become your weeks, which become your months, your years, and ultimately your life. I think you kind of get the point. I want you to keep the why brewing in the back of your mind. So when you leave the webinar today, you think, why would a routine be important for me? Why should I consider adapting or changing my routine during the holiday season? Why is this going to make a difference in my life? So just kind of always keep that question of why in the back of your head, because it's going to help motivate you and it's going to help keep you on track. I really like this visual because it shows that with a routine, things tend to follow a fairly predictable pattern. And whenever something new happens in your life, whether it's brand new, like a job change, welcoming a baby, starting a relationship, ending a relationship, those things can really throw off your routine or force you into a different routine. And you might feel like you're spiraling or feel out of control, especially for people whose routines are so ingrained in their day-to-day actions. New things can also be something that is recurring but feels new each time it happens. An example might be the holidays. They come around every year, we can predict them and generally know what to expect, yet we sometimes don't adjust our routines in advance and therefore treat the holidays like some unforeseen event disrupting our lives. So new things, whether they're brand new or recurring, can really get us out of our rhythm, and when it comes to the holidays, I find that stress often peaks and routines fall by the wayside, which is really one of those which came first, the chicken or the egg type scenarios. Did the routine go away because of the stress, or is there stress because the routine is lost? You've probably heard that the key to less stress in a family is to get your kids and everyone in the family on board with a routine of some sort. Setting boundaries for them so they know what to expect and when to expect it. Bedtime is at 8 p.m. Before bed, we brush teeth and read a book. Adults need similar routines because we really aren't that much different from kids when it comes to stress. We experience stress when our days don't go as planned, when our routines are out of whack. Instead of having a tantrum at the grocery store, we hopefully show our stress in different ways, but we still experience that stress of being out of a routine. So, how do we get into a routine? Well, one way to get started in setting a routine is just looking at your day and identifying what you have to work with. So the first thing is identifying when you're going to be awake. In order to know when you're awake, you really need to establish a good sleep-wake cycle or sleep-wake routine. And this can be helpful for so many reasons. First, the body functions best when well rested and when it stays in the same type of rest pattern, regardless of what is going on in your life or what day it is. While it might be tempting to stay up late and sleep in on the weekends, research shows that this really throws off your circadian rhythm. Secondly, when you establish a good sleep-wake routine, you bring boundaries into your life that help you define what you can do when you're awake, which is where your habits and therefore routine kind of lead the way. So my first suggestion would be to map out your day. What are your waking hours? If you want to think about your work life separately from your home life, that is okay. You can map them out that way, or you can map them out together. It's really up to you. But of the hours you're awake, kind of what can you fit in that time? And when it comes to determining what you should fit into that time, you need to think about your priorities. You need to maybe ask yourself, what are the most important things? What are the biggest priorities in my life? And ask yourself, what is it that I must do versus what I want to do? If you can identify your priorities, then you can help build a routine. For many people, priorities intentionally shift during the holiday season. For others, they unintentionally shift. For some, their priorities remain exactly the same, but demands around them change, and therefore it feels like a shift in priorities. So whatever your priorities are, keep them in mind when setting a routine and sticking to it. And regardless of if you're staying in or out of your routine this time of year, simply being aware of the change and being more mindful is really important. Another thing that you must plan for are roadblocks or barriers to maintaining either your typical routine or the routine you set your sights on. I think the holidays are a time when barriers are greater than ever. I recall once several years ago, I really wanted to maintain my normal eating routine and minimize added sugars between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Had I not made eating well a priority, it would have derailed and quickly spiraled into a sugar coma on most days because there were so many treats in the workplace. That was just one of my added challenges. Other added challenges this time of year might include the weather and the time change we had this past weekend. It's colder, it's darker. That doesn't always motivate me to exercise after work, and I'm guessing you might feel the same way. There's the commercialization of the holidays and spending more money, which is very tempting, but can detract from any kind of financial planning or money management routine you're in. Plus, there's invitations and commitments and places to go and people to see. And suddenly you might find yourself with more things to do and less time to do it. And so the really important things or the priorities in your life get moved farther and farther down the list. So how do you get on point or on target with a routine? I believe there are critical questions you need to think through before seriously approaching anything related to a routine. First, what do you want to do versus what do you need to do? There are a lot of things I want to do in life, but not all of them are priorities or should be priorities. So if you can identify your needs versus your wants, then you can kind of determine, I need to do these things, I want to do these things. Do I have time for both of them? Or is it just, I need to do these things and I only have time for a couple of the things I want? The second is kind of where the realism comes in. What can you do? Okay, so given the holidays is a busier time of year, what is realistic or what can you actually accomplish is a huge factor in setting a routine and being successful with it. Again, identifying those barriers. We just talked about a few examples. Everyone's going to have different barriers in life, but think through anything that could get in the way of establishing a healthy routine this time of year. Who can help you? Who's going to help you find success? Who is going to support you? Basically, who are the key players in your life that can help you establish this routine, can help you stay in this routine, or more importantly, who are the people in your life who are going to be affected by your routine? Because oftentimes we forget to tell people in our lives, whether it's at home or at work, about this new routine or this new wellness goal we have, and all of a sudden there's stress because someone else's life is affected and they're maybe caught off guard. So think about who can help and who you need to talk to and why. So we talked about this earlier. Why are you doing this? Why is it important? So important to think about these things before putting a routine together, because it's really critical that you have all of these questions answered in order to determine if you have the routine that's going to be the right fit for you. So an example I have that's outside of the holiday season, but maybe some of you can relate to, is that I used to have a really, what I would call, solid early morning exercise routine. Like I'd be at the YMCA at 5:15 or 6 a.m. depending on the day. But then my life changed and I had a child. And now at 5:15 in the morning, while I would really like to be exercising because I'm kind of one of those weird people, I would actually like to be exercising at 5:15 in the morning. Currently, I need sleep. So my need for sleep is greater than my kind of want to exercise. However, I was able to kind of shift my routine, and now I exercise on my lunch break or before I go home for the day versus at the start of my day. So just like a life event such as having a child or something much smaller like the next 4 to 6 weeks with the holidays, you might need to shift your priorities. You might need to shift your routine. So think about your needs and your wants. What are the benefits of a routine? So I'm going to list out some benefits, and I want you to think about how these might affect your life and add value. So the first is that it's possible you could get more done each day. So if you have your day mapped out, you will have structure and boundaries in your day. For many people, that would mean that they'll now have timelines or deadlines that they didn't have before. So it's possible that you'll get more done each day. Maybe you'll be motivated by, a to-do list that you can check off. But oftentimes people who are in a solid routine actually are a lot more productive. You might find that you have more time to relax because all of a sudden you're more efficient with your time. You've accomplished the things you set out to accomplish, and now there's nothing left to do but relax. I think this is hard to find in general in life, especially during the holidays. So if you find that you don't have any time to relax, that's probably an issue. If you find that you're able to relax here and there, that's a good thing. So be mindful of how often you can just kind of sit back and relax. It's possible that a routine can help you break some bad habits that aren't so great for your health or great for your relationship. So when you're adding things into your life that are positive, those approaches can sometimes be more helpful than taking things out that aren't as positive. So it's possible that by adding good things into your routine, by default, you will break bad habits. You create your day. You're the architect of your day. So if you have a routine, then you can kind of decide what you can do with whatever remaining time you have. And yes, oftentimes our routines are dictated by what's going on at work or at home, but ultimately there will be places where you can choose how you spend your time. So it might not be that all day, every day, but you will find different opportunities to kind of create your day with a routine. It's possible that you'll procrastinate less, which again leads to getting more done each day and maybe more time to relax and more rest. So you might feel like at the end of the day, I did everything, I was able to relax, and now I'm going to go to sleep and I'm not going to stare at the ceiling thinking about all of the to-dos that I didn't get done. So it's possible that you could be better rested, and ultimately this means you'll feel better, not just physically, but emotionally. So oftentimes we have a lot of mental clutter going on upstairs, and so a routine can sometimes help you feel better emotionally, have less stress, and just kind of have a more positive outlook. So what are some things that I would recommend that you consider every day, especially during the holidays, to keep yourself as healthy as possible? I would highly suggest that you add some of these daily doses into your holiday routine. Movement. So just do it. Find something that will keep you active. It doesn't have to be CrossFit. It doesn't have to be powerlifting. For many people, those are undesirable, and I kind of find them overrated sometimes. Walking is great. Accidentally exercising. You took the stairs instead of the elevator. You stretched while binging on your favorite holiday movies. All of those things count as movement. So whether it's a found opportunity for exercise or an actual plan to exercise at a certain time during the day, just do it. Just get moving. Stay hydrated. Drink half your weight in ounces of water each day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need 100 ounces of water a day. If you weigh 150 pounds, you need 75 ounces of water a day. So important to stay hydrated, especially during the holidays when You are probably tempted by treats and sweets and all sorts of things. When you are dehydrated, you are likely to overeat. Oftentimes people think they're hungry, but they're actually just dehydrated. So having a glass of water, making sure that when you go out and socialize, you don't just drink alcohol or caloric beverages the whole time. Alternate with water. Do those things, sneak that water in, and try to reach that goal of half your body weight in ounces of water. Choosing fruits and vegetables over processed foods. This can be hard for people, especially when there are a lot of tempting things, to eat this time of year, and a lot of people don't associate fruits and vegetables with convenience foods, but really what's more convenient than, eating an apple, peeling a banana. Fruits and vegetables are so important. They're going to have your vitamins, your minerals. You need those to keep your immunity boosted, especially this time of year when it's cold and flu season. But if you can get into a routine of always having fruit with breakfast, having a fruit and a vegetable with your lunch, having a fruit and a vegetable with your dinner, then you've hit your, minimum of five a day. And then quiet time. Not everyone thrives off of quiet time, but I think everyone benefits from a little quiet time each day. So it could be something as simple as 5 minutes. It's a great time to reflect on your routine. How is it working in your life? And, just kind of thinking through how you feel. So some things to keep in mind that I want you to kind of leave with today when you think about going into this busy time of year is inch by inch, it's a cinch, right? Mile by mile, it takes a while. Oftentimes people get so excited about a new endeavor that they try to do too much too soon, and usually it results in stress and more stress. So in order to be successful and also have as little stress as possible, pick just one thing. So if on your list of priorities, for example, you had family time, eating at home, and training for a marathon, and maybe you want to get a promotion at work. So you have family, you have something related to your health. You don't want to eat out as much, you want to eat at home. You have something related to a goal that you want to run a marathon. You also want to get a promotion at work. Those are all priorities in your life right now. So there are a lot of things that you can think of that could be part of a routine that would get you closer to all of those priorities, maybe none of which you're currently doing but want to start. So you want to start eating breakfast with your kids in the morning. So you're not eating out, you're spending time with your kids before work. You want to join a running club to help you, prep for that marathon. You want to do some continuing education to work towards that promotion at work. If you try to do all those at once, try again. It's probably going to be really stressful, but maybe you pick what is easiest to work into your schedule, say eating breakfast with your kids, and that's your new routine. And once that becomes a routine, you add in the next habit of, you found, a running club to join. And so too much too soon often spells disaster. So be really strategic about your approach to addressing your priorities and adding things into your routine that really help support them. And the last thing to think about is that in life, no matter how hard you try, you can't be in a routine 100% of the time. Things come up. It's okay to step away from your routine to make accommodations for the spontaneous and unexpected that are sometimes amazing and sometimes, not amazing. So if you have a routine, know that it is okay to step outside of it, but always try to come back to it. And the only way you can come back to a routine is if you have one in the first place. Just a reminder, EFR can help. So we have 24/7 phone support. We offer in-person counseling for a variety of areas. It could be relationship counseling. It could be for your children. Maybe you have a blended family, and this time of year you are struggling with how to manage the holidays with your blended family. Everyone in your household is eligible, and our resources are confidential, and they really are a benefit to everyone in your household. So, as we discussed, this can be a difficult time of year for many people and families. So whether you're experiencing the holidays alone or with your tribe, EFR might just have the resources to help you survive the holiday season. Please consider calling us at 800-327-4692. Or if you'd just like to learn more about our services, feel free to visit our website at www.efr.org.